Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shay. I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. This is my husband Tyler.
Yes, my name's Tyler. I am a boring 9-to-5 person
who helps me a ton with my business. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about ways that you can ensure you have a 5-star rating on Poshmark. This is going to be useful for you if you are having a lot of buyers who are not rating you for whatever reason, if you are maybe a little bit below 5 stars and you're really looking to kind of push that up, and just useful tips that maybe you haven't thought of or that you were doing but have stopped for whatever reason. So before I get into it, I did want to say if you enjoy this type of video and you like reseller content, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. I do put out videos every Sunday and Wednesday, but that notification bell will let you know what time I'm uploading. And also comment down below. Let me know your tips on what you do to ensure you have a 5-star rating. Is there something in here that we didn't mention, or is there something in here that you don't think actually works? Anything like that, let me know down below. I would love to hear your comments. I love engaging with you guys. So anyway.
So I am going to start off because I do the bulk of the shipping.
Yes, shipping is pretty much his job because it doesn't bring me joy.
It does not bring my wife joy. I actually don't mind it. I find the repetitiveness relaxing, so I actually have no problem shipping.
It goes with your boring nature.
So the first thing that we try to do is to ensure that we have a very fast ship time. So we generally, for the most part, will be either same day or next day, depending.
Yes, so I will say, just to keep in mind with that, on Poshmark, you are required to wait at least 3 hours to ship an item. I know there is contention between if you can ship an item that was by offer. People say that you cannot cancel an item that you accepted an offer on or that you made an offer on. It's only full price sales. We go by the rule of waiting 3 hours regardless of how the sale was made. We've had cancellations before, and we've had people try to cancel after items have been shipped. So it's very important that you wait that 3 hours. It's not going to hurt your ship time. Just make sure you do it.
Yes. And now, currently we do the no contact delivery because of the current state of things in the world.
Yes.
So that does extend a little bit to the next day because you have to schedule that in advance. Right.
The night before. I believe it cuts off at like 1 in the morning or something like that.
So the second step in our process is to go through each item that's going to be shipped out and make sure that we haven't missed anything, whether it's an odd smell, a hole, just a stain, and as necessary, either fix it or we've actually canceled sales and disclosed that to the prospective buyer, and they've actually turned around and said, "I thank you for telling me, but I still want it."
Yeah, so make sure that if you do see a flaw, if you're able to repair it and it looks great, then awesome, do that. But even if you can repair it, if there's going to be left a sign that you had to repair it and you didn't disclose this, use the bundle feature to reach out to buyers. Disclosure, bundles are not private, they are public, people can see them, so always make sure you're speaking in a professional manner, and that even if the person is upset with you, anything like that, don't leave any kind of comments you don't want your potential future buyers to see. However, reach out to them, let them know. If you don't get a response in a timely manner, cancel the sale. I know that people don't like to do that. It does stall your sales, or people say that with the algorithm. However, it's really important that you are communicating with your buyer and letting them know everything every step of the way. So just do that. We've had people really happy about that. They've left us reviews saying they were so nice. They let us know about, X flaw that they found, and it's not even a big deal. And it's been really good. So make sure you do that.
Well, it's common courtesy. You want to treat people like you want to be treated, and you want to be upfront with people and not make them feel like they were cheated or scammed.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's the bottom line. So the next thing I do, we have quite a few packages behind us, is wrap them all in plastic. So I know plastic is not great for the environment, but it does keep the item safe and watertight. So that is very important.
Yeah, now when he says wrap with plastic, I do want to kind of show you guys. He tapes everything closed. There's no opening. There's no way for anything to get in here, and it's very tight to the item. Make sure that you're doing that. So we actually had an item returned to us, and while there was a few reasons why the item was actually not destroyed, the item went to the buyer's address, but they forgot to update their address to their new current address. And so it kind of like made its rounds in the USPS
conveyor belt system of doom for a package. It had that awful gray black dust all over the package because of the conveyor belt, and it thankfully didn't rip.
Thankfully. So we'll talk about one of the reasons it did, but the other reason was because of the plastic. So we do this with all of our items, and if the item is stuck in the rain, if anything were to happen to the package, dirt, all those kind of things, your item is protected. So that's really important. If you can do a sustainable option, please of course do that. Obviously margins need to be better to do that, but any way you can do it, please make sure you protect that item so that you're not relying just on the outer packaging. Okay. So he's actually packaging while we go, so if you see him looking a little distracted, that's what
I am a little bit distracted.
These are the sales that we're sending out today, so we figured we would kind of take you along with us so you can see what we do. So step 4.
Step 4 is including a personalized note. So
is it upside down?
No.
So there's a card in there. I don't know if you can see it.
So I try to write a nice personalized note for all of the packages, all of the items that we send out. I try to make it as friendly and as light as I can, and then I also always will ask for a rating in the note.
Right, so our notes particularly are handwritten right now. We may eventually move on to pre-printed notes, but there are a few things to keep in mind when you're doing thank you notes. First of all, don't make it generic. Don't just say, thank you for shopping my closet, please leave a rating. Remember that customers are people and they want to feel that way, so treating them as a number is not necessarily going to get you a great response. Remember that they came to you, they picked your closet, they picked your item, so give them that little bit of a personal touch. So we like to mention the item that they have purchased. We like to give something about us, whether it's, talking about the fact that my husband is the one who's helping pack it, whether it's talking about, sometimes if I write the note, which doesn't happen as often anymore, but I might say something like, why I picked that item, or if it's something from my personal closet, why I like it so much. Just kind of trying to be a little bit more personal. And then also, if you have repeat buyers, please don't send them the same note.
Yes,
if you can acknowledge that they are a repeat buyer and you can say something about that, how much you appreciate it, that's going to go a long way and it's going to make them feel seen. I know we don't all catch it. I try my best. But if you do catch it, make sure that you're doing something to kind of acknowledge that. Trust me when I say people super appreciate it. And then lastly, going off of what he said, asking for a rating. The reason that we say that is it's a lot of people, when it comes to any kind of sales where ratings are involved, don't understand that the ratings actually help the seller at all. And some of them don't understand that they're rating you, the seller, and not the item. So if you in the note let them know that they're rating their experience, that one gives them a cue that they're not rating the item, they're rating the experience. So you are more likely to get a positive rating for the experience, even if, I don't know, the item didn't fit or something like that. And then 2, they're more likely to remember to rate you. So,
yes. So I know for my 9-to-5 job, part of my bonus is based off of customer satisfaction. And it can significantly hurt my bottom line at the office if someone doesn't like something. And that can be something that is out of my control entirely. So I will remind them that they are rating both the firm and myself in a non-solicitous way, not saying you need to rate a 10 or whatever it is.
Right, you never tell them what to rate. I
understand that we didn't get the resolution you wanted. You do have the opportunity to submit your own feedback. We would love to hear what you have to say.
Yes, exactly.
And that goes a long way.
It really does. So currently we are sitting at about 72% of items sold have received a rating, and we have an overall 5-star rating.
Yes.
I have dipped below 5 stars at one point, and I was able to pull it back up rather quickly, which I have seen from online that is not super common. It usually takes a very long time. So I think that this system that we're showing you here really does help with that. But keep in mind, you're not going to get 100% ratings. We have guest buyers who buy something from Google and then they don't come back. They just don't. You've also got sellers, especially people that are sourcing, that don't like to leave ratings, because if they leave 5 stars and they leave you a note, somebody can see what they purchased and they don't want to do that. So you got that, and then you just have other people that just don't rate. They just don't. So 100% is probably not going to happen. But this system should help you improve those ratings and get more of them. Okay, so number 5.
Number 5. Whenever we can, we'll use the free USPS poly mailers made out of the Tyvek, which is the harder material than plastic.
Or paper. I think the other one's
yes.
paper.
So go with the Tyvek because it is very durable. It's hard to rip. It just can take a beating. It's also free. You can't beat free.
Right.
Like, that's, at the end of the day, this is a business, and we are trying to get the maximum profit that we can, even if that sounds a little bit selfish. I mean, it's that one little thing that you can do to cut costs, and it still works out.
Well, and it's also not selfish if you think of it as you're trying to get the best profit, but you're also trying to get the best price for your buyer. So if we have a set margin in mind and we're paying money for shipping supplies, then to get that margin that we're looking for, we're going to have to up that price for the buyer. And that's what stores do. That's what everybody does. And we don't want to have to do that. So we don't have to, because we have free shipping supplies. When we can't use poly mailers, we do also use the free USPS boxes. So there's certain ones you use particularly, aren't there?
So the one that I use the most is probably the shoebox size for shoes. Also fits handbags. I generally will cut them down to save space and then also to prevent them from rattling. So you just cut down each of the 4 corners and then fold it over onto the item, and it just makes it better packaged appearance and fit.
Right. So for Poshmark, you are able to use any of the USPS priority boxes as long as they don't say Express, or I think it's just Express you can't use.
Correct. You can use the flat rate. It says it on the Poshmark label. You can use the flat rate boxes.
Yes. Now, I will say that there are issues with certain post offices not accepting it, and even though yours do, you may have a situation where the buyer's doesn't, and it could end up with money due on delivery. There could be a whole thing. So we recommend just sticking to regular priority mail boxes if you can, but you are allowed to according to the label, and obviously your business, your choice. But the main thing I did want to mention, do not use any boxes that are not priority mail, that are not included on the label, and then cover it with paper or anything like that. I've seen a lot of people talking about that. That is considered mail fraud, and I just want to be clear that while you may be able to get away with it, that can end up with issues for the buyer, and it's also illegal. So just, as a blanket statement, don't do that. USPS has a lot of options for boxes, and then at the end of the day, if you can't find one from USPS, reuse. We all shop Amazon, we all shop online shopping. You likely have a box in your house you can use.
Also, public service tip, do not cover the barcode, because the tape is reflective and it's going to be much more difficult for them to get an accurate scan.
Yes.
Now, I will generally cover the numbers because the numbers aren't scannable, just so that in case it rains that there's a way to type in the tracking number, but you want to leave the barcode easily scannable.
Right. So that goes into our last little bit here. So number 6, tracking.
Yes.
You want to ensure that your package is tracking so that the buyer can kind of track the progress of their item, and so you can also track the progress. So you have a record on your end of when you shipped it, where it is, and you're not reliant completely on Poshmark's system. I don't know how many people watched the whole system during the big part of the coronavirus pandemic. Poshmark system basically stopped updating. It was very delayed, it lagged a lot, and you really had to have a handle on your own tracking to keep your buyers in the loop. So with that in mind, one of the biggest tips we'll give you is make sure, if it is possible, to get a receipt.
Yes, get a receipt.
Very loud,
Sorry.
Very loud. I'm sorry that it's so loud. He is actually doing the packaging for the day.
I am, yes.
Yes, he is, not doing so good. But anyway, make sure you get a receipt if you can. This is going to help you. We actually had a situation where we went to the post office, sent an item out, and within, what, a few minutes?
Yeah, it was while I was walking back to the car with the receipt.
Yeah, the buyer actually reached out to us and said, I would like to cancel the order. I don't remember the reasoning. Now, the pessimistic side of me believes that this buyer was actually waiting for me to click the button saying it had been delivered, so they could then do that and hope that they got the item and and their money back. That's the pessimistic side of me. I don't know for sure. But when that whole thing happened, they reached out to Poshmark, a whole thing happened, and I actually had to send them a copy of my receipt to prove that I had timestamped that I sent the item prior to them reaching out to me. And if I had not done that, Poshmark would have canceled the sale and the item would have been lost. I mean, they would have gone to them and up to them to return it to me, and you just don't want to be reliant on that. You don't know who you're dealing with on the other end, and while a lot of people are honest people, not all are. So that is important.
Yes.
That said, we are in Corona, so
we are doing the contactless delivery at the door because that's what the post office would prefer these days, to try to keep as minimum interaction as possible.
yes.
So it's not always something that we can do.
Right. But we do have a great postman who
Yes.
he pretty consistently, we get our tracking by the end of the day. I will say keeping a good rapport with your postman is important. Remember that without them, regardless of if you use contactless delivery or go in, without them, we're not running a business.
Yes.
So,
I just had a drink of my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and we did kind of bribe him with a couple gift cards to Dunkin' because we are in New England, and that's
well, and we appreciate the fact that they allow this. Now, using USPS for the most part is way cheaper than other shipping options. So we want to let them know how much we appreciate them. And if you haven't already done that, I would recommend even just leaving a card, leaving out waters, whatever you can, because they are a big part of our business and we should show that appreciation. So that's going to go a long way. And we can say for sure that he's knocked on the door when we've had items that are been outside, that it's raining. So he's let us know, like, hey, your stuff's going to get damaged. He's been, putting in tracking all the time. He takes items that are extra, that are not on our, scheduled delivery, even though he's not supposed to. He does a lot for us that I think it's important to show that.
Yes.
So I guess that is everything I have. Is there any other, ending tips?
The only other tip that I have for the packaging is to make it as compact as you can, and then make sure that all of the seams are taped closed, so that it doesn't catch on one of the conveyor belts.
Now that doesn't look like a full-size poly mailer, so did you do something different with that?
So I folded this over on itself to make a more compact package, which for Poshmark is less of an issue, but for eBay, because you pay for the shipping, and shipping is determined by weight and size, you actually pay less money if you make it a smaller package.
Yes. And I think to end this out, we should acknowledge that we did not mention adding in extra frills. I know Poshmark recommends making your package pretty, so I think in their thing I'll put up here if I can what they actually state, but it's something about tissue paper and ribbons and
Free
all these
gifts
frills,
and
right?
Glitter and confetti and
Yeah, all the
no,
frills.
thank you.
So while it is your business, and if that is something that brings you joy and you enjoy doing that, absolutely go ahead and do that. But there are a few reasons that we recommend against it. One, I personally, if I receive an item with tissue paper and all that stuff, I look at it as clutter and trash that I have to get rid of.
Yeah.
And that's just an extra step that I didn't really expect to have to take by buying something online.
Also with the tissue paper, if it gets rained on and gets wet, if you, for whatever reason, it can stain the item.
Right,
or
so
damage
color
the item.
bleed is a real thing. So if you are somebody that enjoys tissue paper, remember that color bleed is real. So if you're not packaging with plastic and it can touch the item, that can be an issue. And then the other thing is, like we talked about with the packaging, the poly mailers, it's something that affects your margins. So if you're running this as a business, then remember that we want to keep our cost of goods as low as possible, and all of those little extra things are going to add up. And maybe that's something you want to kind of track along the year. Just making sure if you're doing that to make it pretty and you want to do that, are your margins still in line when you do that? If it is, great, good for you, but we find that the no frill packaging, we're still getting those 5-star reviews, and we're
getting quite a lot of reviews. I would say 70% is a fairly high response rate all things considered.
Maybe we can share a few, or like one or two across the screen here, of some of the reviews that we've received, because a lot of the reviews are really nice and they make us smile, and it's just...
They make our day. It's always nice to get a positive sentiment. I know for my work or for reselling, anytime you read a positive review, it's like, oh, that person actually appreciated what I did.
Right, so. And it's usually the reviews that we get are very specific to what we did. It's not just like, love the item or something like that. It's usually like, love the note, that note just made my entire day, you know, that whole thing. So we know that this stuff that we're doing is making an impact. So I think that's really important.
Yes.
But I think that's it.
I think that's everything, yeah.
Yeah, so the last thing I wanted to say is what we're hoping to do, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do this because we do have a smaller following here on YouTube and on Instagram, but what I would like to do, and my goal, would be to try this out with you guys. So if you are somebody that either isn't getting a lot of reviews and you're hoping for more, or you're somebody that has under a 5-star rating and you're hoping to pull that up, what I would like to do is I would like to get maybe like 50 to 100 of you if I can.
Well, as many people as are willing to do it and try our system and see if that works for them.
Right. So basically what I want to do is get as many of you as I can and have you guys send me what your ratings were for your last, like, say 50 sales, and then track the next 50 sales and see if putting all of this into place has improved your ratings, and not just improved it where you're getting more 5-star ratings, but more ratings overall. We want to see if that really improves it. Because just saying that it works for us doesn't necessarily prove that it's going to work for everybody. So I'd really like to do this as a kind of community effort to see if this is something that really does help, and then we can do a follow-up video letting you know the results. So with that said, if you are interested in participating in this, it's a very simple process and it's only probably going to be a few tweaks for you. Let me know down in the comments below that you're interested. Give me your email address so I can reach out to you and we can kind of work on how to get this done. Or you can reach out to me via Instagram, same name as the channel name, and let me know. That's also going to be linked down below. And we will get that set up. I don't know how long this is going to take. It'll depend on how long it would take to get people on board. But I would love to do that, and I would love to do a follow-up video seeing if this actually works for the community.
Yeah, and let us know if you have any questions about what specifically we're doing, because there was a lot of just general advice. We can give you specific pointers for what we find works the best.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is if I get some people that are interested, I'm going to put together a little sheet that's going to give you exact step by step of what exactly you need to do, and I will ask that you follow it exactly to make sure that it works. And we will see. We'll see if we can get people involved, and we'll see how that goes. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back. I think this is a Sunday video, so we will be back on Wednesday with a new video.
Yeah, thank you all for watching.